lineup right now. I mean, top to bottom, been very good showing for UVA.
Nick Sanko, who was kind of back and forth of whether he would or wouldn't go, gets the start tonight. They've got a couple guys at 157 to the Cavaliers who they thought about trying to run out there. But it'll be Sanko who will go for the Cavaliers against Logan Ferrero for Duke. Sanko, a guy who has also missed some time this year, but he has been wrestling phenomenally as of late. He's won 6 of his last 7 matches for the Cavaliers.
Who hasn't? You go through the UVA roster. Who hasn't missed time?
And I think it's interesting to point out, too, as you look at this Virginia roster, and we brought it up to Coach Garland yesterday. I said, okay, Coach. Well, he lost 7 starters within 10 days in late December. And then he had so many guys step in as we've got an injury perhaps here, perhaps some blood. So the coaching staff and the athletic trainer will come out and check on Sanko here. But he lost 7 starters in a 10-day span. Had a lot of guys step up, right? And obviously those guys, Virginia's only lost once this year. They've got a great record. We asked Coach Garland, how in the world do you keep your room together? Because you've got these guys that have been fighting and going out there and battling for your club, and obviously have not done anything to not earn their spot in your rotation. But because another guy's back, it's really hard. And he admitted as such that it was hard, Nick, for him to bring guys together and had to tell his guys how much they were appreciated.
Yeah, and I loved his response, which was exactly that. I need to communicate more. He's like, I need to tell them how much I love them, and I need to tell them how much I appreciate them and what they've done for this program and for Virginia wrestling. And that's the sport. It's individual. And that's part of it, is that you're battling for a spot, but you're also rooting for your teammate. And it shows a lot of character when you're able to do that. And these guys have learned. And it's tough, especially because when you're going to a school like Virginia to wrestle, you probably have a state championship under your belt. You were probably the guy at your high school, at your weight class. And now you're coming in and stepping into a very different role.
Well, that could be said for most of the guys in the ACC, right? I mean, you look at the records for some of these guys in the ACC, they have been phenomenal throughout their career. Even at Duke, a lot of guys that had only lost a handful of times in high school. And look at Sanko here with the early advantage, at least in terms of no points, but certainly has the advantage in terms of positioning.
Definitely does. And you hear all the time, Chris, in wrestling, college wrestling, a state championship's a dime a dozen. They're all over the place. Still no points.
Sanko trying to flip Ferrero here, get him on his back, and back to neutral.
Yeah, it's a stall there. Just in a position, not called a stall against either, but in a position where Sanko's leg was across. And if they had turned any more, possibly not a good position for the knee. And it looks like they might have to
let's take some more blood here.
Do another check on blood, maybe the nose. Yep.
Ferraro, who had some blood earlier this period, they'll have to try to get the bleeding stopped.
The classic, get to go out with the nose plugs.
Yeah. Who doesn't want a little water?
A lot of us have been there. And then it's not very fun because breathing out of your nose isn't great after that, so they'll battle through it.
Still no points awarded.
But I like the start of this one. We really haven't had an even match since the heavyweights went at it with Katka and Barquette. So Sanko and Ferrero a little more evenly matched. I think Sanko definitely has the advantage. But, Ferraro's staying in there right now.
Another stall warning, back to neutral there. You like what you're seeing from Ferraro, just being able to stay in there?
Just staying in there. I mean, by now in a lot of the other matches, guys have had 2 takedowns already. And Ferraro is keeping him at arm's length, not allowing Sanko to get in. It's more of that feeling out process that you're seeing, which, that really shows when it's a more even match. And Ferraro almost takes advantage and gets a takedown of his own, now in a scramble.
Final 18 seconds. There's 3 points for Sanko.
Ferrero loses his grip on that scramble, has to bail out of it, giving the 3 points to Sanko. Most likely end this first period at 3-0.
The choice here, Sanko and Ferrero. Thought they were going to go neutral for a moment, but it'll be bottom here for Sanko. A chance to get a point on the escape to start the second period.
Yeah, and Sanko wants to stack the points. That's that decision. He wants to get one if he can stand up and then start to add on a 4-0 lead if he can. And it also puts them in a position where Ferrero can't tie things up at 3-3.
There's the escape. So the point for the escape, and now to your point, after we get to neutral, Sanko looking for the 3 more points.
Good job getting in on that right leg of Ferrero. Still in a scramble. Thought they might go out of bounds there, but staying in.
Now Sanko trying to grab that left leg there. Trying to find a way to flip Ferrero over. He gets the 3 points for the takedown. And now can he get him on his back for even more bonus points?
Both these guys very athletic. You can tell by, that scramble ability. Ferrero just can't keep Sanko in that position. Sanko's able to take advantage. Both of his takedowns, not really great executed shots, but more being able to stay in that position and just showing his ability to scramble.
Well, that's patience, isn't it?
It really is. It's patience, also your grip strength, trying to stay on the leg or, stay wrapped on whatever, limb you got and stay in it there. And sometimes it's the guy who just, their arms give out first and they can't get it, and the other guy takes advantage for a takedown.
7-0 lead for Sanko through 2 periods. Ferrero, who has won 7 times this year. And, we talked about the patience and just how this match has been one of those grinders. And that's kind of what Glenn Lanham, the Duke head coach, said about Ferrero. Said he's going to give us 7 minutes. And that's never a question with him, never an issue. He's a guy that's going to wrestle hard for all 7 minutes.
Yeah, and it makes sense watching him wrestle. You can tell he's not giving Sanko anything easy. You're in this third period now. I said it earlier, the third period's the most grueling one, especially when you're down 7-0. Winning is probably tough. You're going to need a pin or you need multiple takedowns. But right now, first things first is you got to get up or get a reversal.
And with 95 seconds left, got to start moving pretty quickly.
Definitely do. And Sanko's purely in control. He's got the wrist, which if they got your wrist, they have all the control.
Over 1.5 minutes of riding time as well in favor of Sanko. Bit of a count on there. Short-lived.
Gets the crossface, has the leg in to flatten out Ferrero. He's going to keep on trying to advance, obviously, to avoid that stall warning, but now under a minute. Sanko's just trying to end this one, already up big.
This is a guy in Ferraro who has kind of been up and down throughout his career in terms of weight classes. Was at 149 for a stint last year. Now at 147, gets on the board here for the escape.
I bet you he's really happy to be at 157 and not 149.
There's 3 more points on the takedown. And that will basically do it here with 36 seconds to go.
Yeah, he's got the major decision at the moment, so just got to ride it out. Can add on a couple points to this big Virginia lead over Duke.
Which right now, as you can see, at 32-0 through 7 of our 10 bouts tonight. 165, 174 still yet to come.
Tried to hit the switch, couldn't quite get it.
Well, that will basically do it here with 3 seconds to go. Another victory for the Cavaliers. Sanko picks up another win. His 17th win this year at number 25, a nice round number, number 25 for Sanko's career. More to come for that young man as well.
This has been fun. It's fun to watch with UVA, especially. I feel like, Chris, we're getting to see Virginia for the first time really be as good as they can be, and they could be better with the injuries that they've had, but they haven't been able to wrestle at this caliber